Claire Bennett, 18 years old, stood in the First Baptist Church in Franklin, Tennessee, summer sunlight streaming through stained glass windows, casting colourful patterns on her simple wedding dress. Beside her was Jake Turner, her high school sweetheart, his confident smile and hopeful eyes promising a radiant future. Nashville, with the echo of country guitars drifting from Broadway and the rich aroma of coffee wafting from small cafes, was where they dreamed of a life filled with love. Claire, with her blonde hair tied high and an innocent heart, believed Jake, a driven auto mechanic, would be her entire world, but the dream soon faded. After the wedding, Jake changed. He became controlling, constantly criticizing Claire over trivial things, the way she folded clothes, the way she chatted with customers at the Bluebird Cafe, where she worked as a bartender. "You can't do anything right," he'd say, his voice sharp and cold. Claire tried to please him, but each of Jake's words was like a small cut, leaving her heart bleeding. When Claire was 21, she gave birth to Ethan, a boy with clear eyes and a smile that melted away her sorrows. Ethan was a beacon in her darkest days, but Jake remained unchanged. He spent more time at bars than at home, leaving Claire alone with long nights and endless arguments. One evening at the CMA Fest, Jake, drunk, publicly humiliated her in front of a crowd of friends. "You're useless, not even a decent mother," he shouted, leaving Claire frozen amidst the lively music. She didn't respond, unwilling to make a scene in front of Ethan, but inside, resentment quietly grew. Claire withdrew, avoiding confrontation to shield her son. She worked longer hours at the Bluebird, finding solace in the mournful country tunes of unknown musicians. "If he doesn't need me," she thought, standing behind the bar, wiping glasses under dim lights, "I'll show him I don't need him, don't." That thought, like a poisonous seed, planted the roots of mistakes to come. Claire didn't know she stood at a fateful crossroads, where one choice would alter her life forever. She gazed out at Broadway's glittering lights, feeling as if Nashville whispered a warning, but her weary heart was too tired to listen. Months after the CMA Fest, Claire noticed Sam Carter, an amateur musician who often played at Tootsie's Orchid Lounge, a famous bar on Broadway. Sam, 24, had tousled brown hair, a warm smile, and a voice as deep as the Cumberland River. A mutual friend of Claire and Jake, he always appeared at the right moment to make her laugh when Jake left her alone at gatherings. One night, when Jake, drunk again, left the bar early, Sam offered to drive Claire home. In his weathered pickup truck under flickering streetlights, he said, "You deserve better, Claire. You deserve to be loved." His words fanned the smouldering fire within her. Claire looked at Sam, her heart racing, and for the first time in years she felt seen. The affair began in secret. They texted at night, met at distant cafes outside Nashville, and eventually spent nights in cheap motels near the highway. With Sam, Claire felt alive, as if she were a freer version of herself, not the enduring wife or the anxious mother. But deep down, she knew it was wrong. She hid her phone under her pillow, lied to Jake about extra shifts, and each time she watched Ethan sleep, guilt cut like a knife. The affair lasted 6 months until Jake found a message on Claire's phone. "I miss you. Meet tonight?" Jake slammed the table, yelling in the living room, "You betrayed me! With my friend!" Claire knelt, begging forgiveness, tears streaming, but Jake wouldn't listen. He threw the phone to the floor and stormed out, leaving Claire and Ethan in suffocating silence. At the same time, Sam's wife, Ellen, discovered the truth. Both marriages collapsed. Claire and Sam agreed to cut contact, vowing to fix their own relationships. Claire tried for Ethan's sake, but Jake wouldn't forgive. 2 years later, at a concert at the Ryman Auditorium, Claire and Sam crossed paths by chance. Under the stage lights, they realized they were still unfulfilled, still yearning for each other. They divorced their spouses and married, moving to a small apartment near the Cumberland River. Claire, now 25, watched Sam play guitar for Ethan and thought, "This is real happiness." She believed this time would be different, that Nashville would sing them a new song. But she didn't know that happiness, like stage lights, could fade at any moment. Marriage to Sam was like a fresh country song, full of bright melodies and hope. Sam worked as a sound technician at Blackbird Studio, bringing home stories of stars like Miranda Lambert and Chris Stapleton. Claire opened a small sewing shop, Stitch and Song, where she designed clothes for local musicians, from denim shirts to sparkling stage dresses. They laughed together, sang under the moonlight by the river, and weekend evenings often ended with a slow dance in the living room, Johnny Cash's vinyl spinning softly. Ethan, now 5, called Sam Dad, and the boy quickly blended into their new family. Claire gave birth to 2 daughters, Lily and Ava, filling the tiny apartment with laughter and scattered little shoes. Claire felt true happiness, as if Nashville had granted her a second chance. She dreamed of the day their family might stand together on the Grand Ole Opry stage, even if it was just a fantasy. But as the children grew, life shifted. Sam took on more projects, often touring with bands to Memphis, Austin, or even Los Angeles. He came home exhausted, withdrawn, and declined family outings. Claire took Ethan, Lily, and Ava to Centennial Park, the Belcourt Theatre, or the Tennessee State Fair alone. She tried planning date nights, but Sam brushed her off. "I'm busy, Claire, don't you see? This work is for us." Loneliness crept into Claire's heart. She missed the days when Sam sang to her, when they co-wrote silly love songs. Now he cared only about schedules and contracts. Once Claire suggested having another child, hoping a baby might bring them closer. But Sam said firmly, "3's enough. I don't want more." His tone left no room for discussion, making Claire feel her dreams were caged, just like with Jake. One evening at the listening room, Claire sat alone, listening to a young musician sing of lost love. She watched couples hold hands laughing, and realized she craved that connection. The stage lights shone on her, but Claire sensed darkness closing in. "I was meant for more than this," she whispered, unaware that Nashville, with its bittersweet melodies, was about to pull her into a new challenge. At 37, Claire took Lily to Vanderbilt Hospital for a checkup after a schoolyard fall. There, she met Dr. Michael Hayes, a 40-year-old orthopedic surgeon with a charming smile and eyes warm as autumn sunlight. Michael grew up in Hendersonville, just miles from Claire's childhood home, and they quickly bonded over memories of fishing at Old Hickory Lake and nights at county fairs. At first, it was innocent. Michael asked about Stitch and Song, praising her eye for country artistry. He shared stories of playing guitar in high school, dreaming of music before choosing medicine. Claire laughed more than usual, feeling at ease with him. But during Lily's follow-up visits, Michael grew more personal. "You should try songwriting, Claire," he said, his hand brushing hers as he handed over paperwork. Claire blushed, knowing it was wrong, but his attention made her feel alive after months of loneliness. At home, Sam grew more distant. He forgot Claire's 37th birthday, missed Ava's school piano recital. Claire tried to talk, but Sam dismissed her. "You're overreacting. I'm working hard for this family." She felt like she lived with a stranger, sharing space, but not love. The country songs that once united them now played only on the radio, not from Sam's heart. Everything erupted during a family vacation in Destin, Florida. Claire hoped the trip would mend them, picturing days building sandcastles and laughing by the waves. But Sam refused to join her at the beach, leaving her to drag toys, umbrellas and bags under the scorching sun. Ethan, now 16, clashed with Sam over being forced to come, worsening the tension. One afternoon, Claire sat on the sand, watching other couples play with their kids, and tears fell. "I'm living like a single mum," she thought. The fear of being trapped forever in a hollow marriage overwhelmed her. Back in Nashville, at Lily's next appointment, Michael sensed Claire's sadness. "Is something wrong?" he asked gently. Exhausted from hiding, Claire confessed, "I just need someone to listen." Michael took her hand, his gaze an invitation. "I'm here, Claire," he said. The forbidden door opened, and she stepped through. They began texting, playful banter about country music, then late-night calls when Sam was asleep. Claire felt like herself again. She shared her songwriting dreams, laughed at silly stories, and Michael always listened, calling her smart, beautiful. They met at Fido's Cafe, then at a small motel on the outskirts, where Nashville's lights couldn't expose her sin. The affair ignited, intense and dangerous, with Michael becoming the soulmate Claire believed she'd found. The affair lasted nearly a year, and Claire lived 2 lives. At home, she was the devoted mother, making breakfast for Ethan, Lily and Ava, and the dutiful wife, though her heart had drifted from Sam. With Michael, she was Claire unbound, vibrant, laughing in stolen moments at out-of-town bars or discreet motels. But that fragile balance couldn't last. One evening, while Claire showered after a long day at the shop, Sam checked her phone for a friend's number. He saw Michael's message. "You were amazing tonight. See you soon, country girl." Sam waited in the kitchen, face pale, clutching the phone. When Claire entered in her bathrobe, he asked, voice trembling with anger and pain, "Claire, what are you doing with that doctor? Think I'm blind?" Claire collapsed into a chair, tears flowing. She couldn't lie anymore. She confessed everything, the meetings, the loneliness, the reasons she turned to Michael. "I didn't mean to hurt you, Sam," she sobbed, "but I feel like I'm vanishing in this house." Sam didn't yell, just looked at her with shattered eyes. "You did this again, Claire? After everything with Jake?" He stood, left the kitchen, and shut the living room door, leaving Claire in stifling silence. They agreed to marriage counselling with Dr. Rachel Ellis, a renowned Nashville therapist. Rachel suggested an in-house separation. Sam slept in the living room, Claire in the master bedroom. The space between them became an unbridgeable chasm. Claire kept seeing Michael, knowing it was wrong. He promised to leave his wife for her, but Claire noticed warning signs. Michael dodged talk of the future, and his promises rang hollow. One night, Claire watched Ethan do homework, Lily paint with watercolours, and Ava doze on the couch with her teddy bear. She realised she was trading her family for an illusion. She texted Michael, intending to end it, but he replied, "Meet me one more time, Claire. You won't regret it." She agreed, her heart heavy. At their next counselling session, Rachel asked, "What do you want, Claire? A new life with Michael, or to fix what you have with Sam?" Claire couldn't answer. She only knew each step with Michael took her further from herself. But when she got home and saw Sam sitting alone in the dark, she understood the pain she'd caused, not just to him, but to their children. Claire teetered on the edge of guilt and temptation. She wanted to end things with Michael, but each time she tried to say goodbye, the pull of connection drew her back. Michael was an escape from reality, where she didn't have to face Sam's distance or the pressure to be a perfect mother. With him, she could laugh, share her songwriting dreams, and feel loved. Yet she began to loathe herself. As a Catholic, she once prayed daily at St. Mary's church. But now she couldn't face the statue of Christ, fearing her own judgmental reflection. One evening, Claire attended a charity concert at Ascend Amphitheatre. As Amazing Grace filled the air, she sat among the crowd, tears streaming down her face. A voice within, gentle but clear, spoke. "You only need to ask, and I will guide you home." The words shook her, a flicker of light in her darkness. She went home, resolved to call Michael and end it, but he persuaded her to meet one last time at Loveless Cafe. At the cafe, Michael dropped a bombshell. He was under investigation for insurance fraud at the hospital. "If you leave me, Claire, I don't know what I'll do," he said, his eyes desperate. Claire panicked. Could she be dragged into his legal mess? She left, her mind in chaos, but Michael texted soon after. "Don't do anything stupid, Claire. We need each other." The veiled threat chilled her. She turned to Grace Monroe, a woman she met at the church support group. Grace, 50, a survivor of infidelity, listened and said, "You're not addicted to Michael, Claire. You're addicted to the love you've never given yourself." The words hit like a revelation. Claire started journaling, tracing her wounds from her marriage to Jake, her fear of abandonment, and realized she'd sought validation from others instead of within. But Michael wouldn't let go. He sent flowers to Stitch and Song, texted relentlessly, and once showed up at Claire's house while Sam was touring in Memphis. "I need you, Claire," he said, reaching for her hand through the door. Claire pushed him away, heart pounding. "Leave, Michael. I don't want this anymore." He left, but his gaze warned her. This wasn't over. Claire returned to counselling with Sam. This time she was more honest, admitting her loneliness and mistakes. Sam opened up, confessing he'd neglected her due to work stress and fear of inadequacy. They talked more, but Claire remained torn. One night, after too much wine, she called Michael, sobbing, begging him not to leave her. The next morning she woke with self-disgust. "Enough," she resolved, clutching the rosary on her table, praying for strength to move forward. Claire resolved to end it with Michael for good. She met him at Centennial Park, under autumn oaks, sunlight filtering through golden leaves, mirroring the light and shadow of her life. She wore a simple sweater, hair tied high, striving for calm despite her racing heart. Michael arrived, still charming in a navy shirt. But Claire had changed. "Michael, we're done," she said firmly. "This isn't good for me, for you, for anyone." Michael smirked, his voice icy. "You think you can just walk away? I've risked everything for you, my job, my family." He revealed his wife, Laura, suspected him and threatened to sue if he left. Claire reeled, realizing Michael never meant to keep his promises of a future together. She stepped back, but he grabbed her hand, pulling hard. "If you leave, I'll tell Sam everything. More than he knows. I have texts, photos, everything." Claire trembled but met his gaze. "Tell him. I won't let you control me anymore." She yanked her hand free and walked away, feeling a weight lift, though her heart remained heavy. She didn't know a bigger storm was coming. Days later, Ethan, now 16, overheard Claire's phone call with Grace. He stormed into the kitchen, face flushed with anger. "You cheated on Dad Sam, after all he's done for us." Claire sank into a chair, tears falling. She apologized, trying to explain her loneliness and mistakes, but Ethan wouldn't listen. "You're a liar!" he yelled, bolting out, leaving Claire in heart-wrenching pain. She called and texted, but Ethan ignored her. Claire feared she'd lost her son forever. She went to Sam, confessing everything, including Michael's visit to their home. Sam, though hurt, took her hand. "We've both messed up, Claire. But I want to try again. For you, for the kids." They embraced, but Claire knew she had to mend things with Ethan first. That night, Claire got a text from an unknown number. "Think you're free? Look at this." Attached was a photo of her and Michael at a motel, taken from afar. Panicked, she called Grace, who urged her to go to the police. At the station, Officer Daniels logged the incident, suspecting Michael or someone connected to him. Claire returned home, checked the security camera, and saw a figure standing at her door at midnight, faceless but with Michael's gait. Shaking, she held Lily and Ava close, vowing to protect her family at all costs. Claire embarked on recovery, though the past's shadows lingered. She enrolled in a songwriting course at the Nashville Songwriters Association, turning pain into lyrics. Her first song, Broken Roads, chronicled her journey from darkness to light, with simple lines that touched hearts. "I walked a shattered path, but the lights still called my name." She practiced nightly in her sewing room, where stitches and melodies intertwined, helping her rediscover herself. She returned to St. Mary's Church, joining Grace Monroe's support group. There, she met women grappling with infidelity. Some betrayed, others, like her, burdened by guilt. A woman, Tara, shared how one mistake cost her family. Tara's story was a mirror, showing Claire the stakes of not changing. Claire started a blog, Light After Shadows, sharing her journey. Her first post, on guilt and hope, drew dozens of comments from strangers thanking her honesty, but the past clung tight. One day, Claire got an email from Laura, Michael's wife, asking to meet. Nervous, Claire agreed to talk at Fido's, a quiet nook in Nashville. Laura, with brown hair and weary eyes, wasn't angry, just sad. "I know about you and Michael," she said, "but he cheated on me before too. You weren't the first." Claire cried, apologizing for the pain she caused. Laura took her hand. "Don't let him define you, Claire. Live better." The meeting closed a painful chapter, letting Claire forgive herself. She worked to mend things with Ethan. She invited him to her shop, giving him a jacket she'd sewn, his name embroidered in gold thread. "I was wrong, Ethan," she said, voice breaking. "But I'll keep trying to make you proud." Ethan stared, then hugged her tightly. "I still love you, Mom," he whispered. It was a light at the tunnel's end, though Claire knew their path needed time. Sam and Claire laboured to heal. They started weekly date nights, dancing at the station inn or dining at Husk, sharing forgotten dreams. Sam admitted he'd pushed her away, fearing he wasn't enough. "I want to be the husband you need," he said. Claire held his hand, feeling hope return. But a final test came when Claire received an anonymous letter with old photos of her and Michael. "Traitors don't deserve happiness," it read. Terrified, she showed Sam and went to the police. Officer Daniels confirmed Michael had left Nashville after his investigation, suggesting the letter might be from an old acquaintance. Claire chose not to let fear rule her. She posted a new blog bearing her story and received hundreds of supportive messages. She learned truth, however painful, was her road to freedom. 10 years later, Claire and Sam were still together, not because they were perfect, but because they chose forgiveness and rebuilding. They held date nights at the Listening Room, took Ethan, Lily, and Ava to concerts at Bridgestone Arena, and co-wrote a song, Second Chances, for their 15th anniversary. It wasn't a hit, but it was theirs, a reminder of their journey. Their marriage wasn't what it once was. It was deeper, truer, like a country ballad born from the heart. Claire became a life coach, helping women overcome infidelity and reclaim themselves. Her YouTube channel, Light After Shadows, had tens of thousands of followers from Nashville to New York. In a special video, she stood on the Grand Ole Opry stage, lights illuminating her face, now etched with faint lines, but brighter than ever. "I thought infidelity was the end," she told the crowd. "But it taught me you can fall and rise stronger. Nashville gave me lights, but I chose to step into them." Ethan, now 26, studied music at Belmont University. He played guitar beside his mum at a charity show, eyes shining with pride. Lily, 14, and Ava, 12, sang harmony for Broken Roads, a song now recorded by a local artist and played on Nashville radio. After the performance, Sam hugged Claire, whispering, "You make me proud every day." Claire smiled, knowing true happiness came not from a man, but from living authentically. She opened a Nashville support center, Harmony House, where women could share stories and learn forgiveness. One night, Claire stood before the group, recounting her moment on Destin's beach, thinking she'd be alone forever. "But I was wrong," she said. "We're never alone if we choose light." The women applauded, and Claire's heart swelled. Under Nashville's lights, amid guitars and dreams, Claire found purpose. Not just surviving, but spreading hope. She looked at the audience, seeing unfamiliar yet familiar faces, people seeking light as she once did. She held Sam's hand, feeling his warmth, and thought, "This is destiny." As the stage lights dimmed, Claire stepped off, ready for tomorrow. Nashville, with its rugged roads and endless melodies, taught her every story, no matter how painful, could end on a note of hope.